This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them.
With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation.
Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house!
Get out of the house! Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. The Sports Talk 305 network is back. It's time to talk Miami Dolphins football with the greatest fan base in the world. EJDconstruction.com is fully insured, liability and workers' comp. Call Eric if you need a custom home builder or general contractor. 305-433-4843. This is the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins postgame show on the Sports Talk 305 network. The show is mastered by Sean Stanley and Chad Shobe. Here's your host, the Big O.
All right. What is it? The definition of insanity is when you do the same things over and over again and are expecting a different result. Is that what we talk about? Yeah, that's kind of what we watched today with the Miami Dolphins. An absolutely pathetic, embarrassing performance, a disgusting and just fraudulent performance by the Dolphins. The adults in the room were a bigger embarrassment. Mike McDaniel and Vic Fangio were a absolute joke today. And Mike McDaniel constantly proves that he pees in his pants in these moments. You know, before the half, I know Tua threw an interception. It was a bad interception. I get it. It's on Tua, but it's more on McDaniel. And there was no reason to rush the play. You had your injuries going on. You know, you could have waited for the 2-minute warning, gather yourself, call the right play. You rush to the line, you rush the play, and you have a brutal turnover. Tyreek drops a touchdown. Claypool drops a touchdown. The defense cannot play any defense whatsoever. Vic Fangio did nothing this week. Nothing whatsoever to help his defense. I mean, it was pathetic, okay? And I get that, you know, we're going to have our Tua bashing and all that stuff. And Tua deserves his share of criticism too. He effed up also. He threw a couple of stupid interceptions. Absolutely dumb interceptions. That one he threw to Tyreek that he forced it in the second half, that it was like, it's a momentum killer. And there were three guys there. And, he's on the sideline going, and these things no more. You gotta understand, there are windows you can't throw in and there are windows you can't. And he's got to learn to do that. Or, you're trying to make a comeback, you can't force. What did we talk about in the pregame show? Did we not talk about intelligence? Well, the Dolphins showed no intelligence in this game. They committed stupid penalty after stupid mistake, after missed tackle, after bad angle, after bad interception, after bad drop. It didn't matter what it was. It was just one after another, after another, after another, after another. There's no way you're going to win. You made everything easy. Receivers broke free. They were open like they were playing high school football. I don't know what the game plan was. Whatever it was, it sucked. Okay? And the players were terrible. And again, intelligence. Excuse my French, but the fuck is Chubb playing at this point in the game? Do you know how stupid you are that you're playing Chubb at this point? Intelligence. The game is over, bro. Now you lost Chubb. Now you probably lost Chubb for next year for a certain portion. Who knows? Just stupid shit, dude, by Mike McDaniel. And he can't win a challenge again. Mike McDaniel, by the way, loses next week and he comes back on a hot seat next year. It's the only way we can do it. It's the only way. You can't give him more years. So he better get his shit straight next week against Buffalo. I told you, he can't go 1-2. You can't go 1-2. That's 2-3 in your final 5 games. That's another collapse. And you have your quarterback. So there's no excuse. This falls on Mike McDaniel, dude. He's a brilliant offensive mind. On game day, he becomes an average to less than average coach. Like, Mario Cristobal is remedial. Okay? I mean, remedial. It doesn't get any worse than Mario Cristobal on game day. That guy's terrible on game day. Okay? He's a disaster on game day. But, I don't expect a lot of creativity out of a former offensive lineman. Sorry, Mario, but I'm going to have to stereotype. So, you got to have some brains, bro. And, I would imagine that the owner of the New England Patriots is a really smart guy. Sometimes he's really stupid when he goes to an Asian day spa. So even the smartest people can be stupid. And Mike McDaniel on game day has got to stop doing stupid shit. Sorry, but we got to call it like we see it here on this show. And this was a pathetic performance. It was an embarrassment to the fan base. Okay? We're waiting for you to turn the corner on this stuff. And this is what you do? A game where you looked absolutely incompetent on defense. On offense, I mean, I'm already getting to the point where I'm expecting this is bad too. I'm expecting McDaniel to do stupid shit. I told you in the pregame, I hope that he was watching Dan Campbell yesterday, but no. By the way, why would you go for the 2-point conversion in the beginning of a trying to come back? You're down by 21. There's still a portion of the third quarter and the entire fourth quarter left. Why would you go for a 2-point conversion at this point? Just take the extra point at this time. You got defense. You might pick up a turnover. You might score. There are things that can happen that you don't need to risk more points. Stupid. It's the only thing I can say about Mike McDaniel at that moment. Stupid. That's all. You don't go for 2 at that moment. There's no reason to go for 2 at that moment. Why are you giving more points away? Take the point. Why do you have Chubb out there? Stupid. Why can't you ever win a challenge? Stupid. I can't help you, dude. Insanity. I can't help insanity. I can't help insanity. You might be great at designing plays, but on game day, you do stupid things. Constantly. Like, it's amazing to me the stupid shit that Mike McDaniel does every single game. And every single game, Tyreek and Waddle drop passes and touchdowns. Every single game. Tyreek already lost the game by himself. So, dude, you're supremely talented. I get it, but you drop too many passes. You drop too many touchdowns. You need to concentrate. We know you're great. We know you have gifts that the good Lord gave you. But right here, dude, you're not concentrating all the time. Mike McDaniel, you might be really smart, but you're not focused all the time, dude. So maybe it's time to play less games. Maybe it's time to joke around less. Maybe it's time to have less ping pong tables. Maybe it's time to, less games being played. I don't know. Somehow or another, but you got to start acting like businessmen. This looks like an office building that everybody's coming to work in skateboards and shorts and Ocean Pacific. I don't know what the kids wear nowadays. I'm not exactly sure what's the OP of today. You know what I'm saying? But that's kind of what it looks like. Everybody's showing up with their bags, with their backpacks. And, somebody's got to crack the whip. And it looks like the head coach doesn't know how to crack the whip. And by the way, if you want to be their friends, you also can't be their mentor. You're gonna have to draw the line at one point or another. The problem is you can't change who you are, because then the fake person comes out, because that's not really who you are, because you don't know how to do that. So your coach is undisciplined on the sidelines. Your players are undisciplined on the field. It's hard for your players to learn perfection when your coach is a constant screw-up on the sidelines. When your coach doesn't understand that his job is to do what's best for the team every single time. Last week, first half, take the field goal. You put your team at risk at the end of the game. You had to drive in order to get the winning score. Those 3 points could have helped you. It's a constant level of mistakes that are made. And he's got to learn. And he doesn't have much time left. Just want you to know that. Okay? Mike McDaniel doesn't have much more time left now anymore. That's where we're headed now. Okay? Because if he fails next week, he has proven that he's not the right guy so far. He might know offense, but he doesn't know how to be a head coach. So next week is big for Mike McDaniel. Huge for Mike McDaniel. And I don't know how he wins, but he better. He better, because I'm kind of tired of watching, him fumble around at the end of a season. And so he will come back next year on the hot seat. And he will be measured in key moments. And it's great that you know offense, but you don't know how to put your team consistently on the winning side. You can only do so much when you gamble. And he continues to gamble. X-Man, foot injury. Maybe the end of his career here with the Miami Dolphins also, if he can't come back over the next couple games into the playoffs. Did Wilkins get any sacks? Huh? No, I know Zach Sealer forced a fumble, got a sack. I know what Zach Sealer did. I'm just going back to my pregame conversation. Who you pay and who you don't pay. And I told you that Wilkins has to start making an impact in these kind of games. That's right. No sacks. Zach Sealer, 5 tackles, 3 solo, a sack, and a forced fumble. Tua, I'm a Tua guy. I'm a Tua believer. Still am, always will be. Played bad today. Some of it influenced by his coach. Because his coach wants to force it to Tyreek, and then he forces it to Tyreek. And here's where I'm going to challenge Tua. Tua has to learn to play like Dan Marino sometimes. Let me explain something to you guys out there. This is Don Shula we're talking about. Do you think Dan Marino ran every play Don Shula called in? Tua Tagovailoa has got to learn to become a leader on this team over his head coach. He has to learn to become the custodian of the offense since his coach won't be. And so there are moments where that play right there's Tyreek. If that's the play that's called, you as a quarterback need to say, I'm not forcing this. I need to go elsewhere. And you need to start checking down. You need to start maybe sometimes the play that's called, you know it. You're on the field at the moment. You're in the middle of it. It's not a good play call. Don't continue. Quarterbacks are allowed to think for themselves, especially if you're a smart one and you understand the game. If you're not very smart, then I can understand that you don't want them to their own devices. But Tua has to learn that there are windows he can throw in and there are windows he cannot throw in. And every quarterback has to learn that. No matter how hard they can throw, how fast they can throw, how quick they can deliver it, doesn't matter. There are going to be windows they have to understand they need to avoid. Tua still has a little bit too much of the gunslinger mentality where he puts himself at risk. Now, Marino did that too. So I'm not going to bullshit you because I remember my favorite quarterback of all time. There were times that Marino had a gun, and there were times he was forcing it into places that he should not force it into. Now, Marino's situation was a little different. He had no running game. He had no defense. So he lived a life that he had to force everything all the time. Tua doesn't have to do that. He has a running game. Marino never had that. And Tua has other receivers he can check down to. So he has to be a little bit more disciplined and opt out of certain plays that are called and not go through with them because it doesn't end well. So you've got to learn as a quarterback when to pick and choose and do that. There were moments, there were days that you saw it that Danny didn't have it, that he was just forcing shit and he was throwing interception after interception. And he had his share of games where he threw 2, 3, 4 interceptions in a game. Marino got benched a couple of times too towards the back end of a game, like, yo, Dan, it's not your day. Beginning of the fourth quarter, here comes Stroker to finish out the game and all that stuff. So it happens to all quarterbacks. Remember I told you that guys like Tua, guys like Breeze, guys like Greasy, guys like Kozar, guys like Peyton Manning, the people that don't have guns, they have an adjustment to make with this league because they use a lot of timing in their passes. So there's an adjustment period, right? And so Tua figured his out pretty quickly. It took Breeze a little while, so everybody's a little different. Well, this is the opposite of it. Tua has to understand the windows he can throw in and the windows he can't throw in. And he still doesn't have a complete understanding of that. He has a little bit too much where he is willing to take a chance, willing to write checks his body can't cash. And so he does not go unscathed here. He did not play well today. He played like shit today. Okay? But so did everybody else. Tyreek Hill played like shit today. The offense played like shit today. The defense was complete dog shit today. It was bad. Today was as embarrassing as it gets for the Miami Dolphins and especially for the fan base. Because this fan base has been suffering for a long time, and this fan base deserves a lot better than the garbage that was put out today by Mike McDaniel. Okay? Absolute garbage that Mike McDaniel and Fangio put out today. Pure, hot. Oh, and by the way, the special teams coach, enough already. Enough. I'm not giving you credit because Jason Sanders got hot again or something, and he's kicking field goals. I still see a bad special teams unit. I was tired of Danny Crossman last year. I would have fired his ass first and foremost on that team. Why Mike McDaniel kept him around, I'm not sure. But if you want to keep him around, go ahead, because if you lose next week, hot seat starts for you next year. That's what I can tell you. Hot seat will start. All right, let's start with the super chats here. And remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Let's go to the Venmo first. Adam Pinkster. Orlando, I can no longer trust this coaching staff in key games, and I worry about next week because while I believe we can beat Buffalo, I don't think McDaniel will put Miami in a position to succeed. And why would you think that? The way you feel is exactly the way you should feel. Mike McDaniel screws up way too much. Way too much. Okay? He screws up way too much to be a head coach. Let me just tell you that. Okay? Front office is giving him a boatload of talent. He screws up way too much. It's pathetic the guy can't win a challenge. It's pathetic that one of the two challenges he won it because his special teams coordinator is incompetent as hell. It's pathetic, dude. It really is. Peter German, thank you for the love on Venmo. I don't know about you, but I'm pissed. I think we need to reevaluate. Tua makes me wonder if he can improvise, and these coaches show that they can't game plan. I'll say it again. McDaniel needs an OC. Well, it's working in that direction if he can't figure shit out. Joe Cracchiola, thank you for the love on Venmo. Thank you, thank you. Big O, like you, I'm a lifer. So tired of seeing our team shrink in the biggest moments. No faith for next week either. Such is life as a Finn fan. Love the show. Happy New Year to you and Sean. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you as always. Anthony Lizzie, thank you for the love on Venmo. Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Too many mistakes on offense, and the defense was absolutely awful. This was embarrassing. Are we cursed with all the injuries? Why are the starters in anyway at this point? That was just stupidity by Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel cost the team now Bradley Chubb. It's Mike McDaniel's fault that Bradley Chubb is injured. Pure stupidity to keep that man in the game. I mean, catastrophically stupid. Yeah, catastrophically stupid. I'm going to turn off all sports media for the next week except the Big O Show, of course. Thank you, Anthony. Appreciate you. Hateful Steve, this one should be good. I remember someone saying this week that this year's team has shown zero evidence they could beat the Ravens. The QB you said wasn't as good as Tua, just locked up the MVP. He did. He didn't do anything special because it was just wide open people. But it was really bad, dude. Really bad. Peter German, thank you for the love on Venmo. Disgraceful game, defensive game, plan inept. Tua was awful, stupid play right before 2-minute warning, throwing an interception. McDaniel still lost in big games. Yes. You are correct, sir. It was a despicable loss by the Dolphins. Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. Matthew Toffler, thank you, sir, for the love on Cash App. Bitcoin for silencing for Tua hate, providing perspective. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And always appreciate a little Bitcoin donation. You know, I love my Bitcoin donations, man. Nothing like it. All right, remember, Cash App or Venmo. We say that because we get 100% of the donation on Cash App and Venmo. Cash Big O Show. Super Chats, of course, we appreciate, but we only get 70% because YouTube likes to take 30. Anyway, let's go with the Super Chat, Sean. No excuses, Big O. Tua didn't step up. You're right, Dolphin. Okay, Frankie Fresco. Lamar destroyed us and we lost Chubb. Yep. You are 1,000% right. And thanks to Mike McDaniel's dumbass, we lost Chubb. Next up, Mike McDaniel. I'm telling you, bro, he does a lot of dumb crap on game day. Vinny Lenya. Big O, this type of performance scares me that they're the same old Dolphins. I need you to take me off the cliff. I can't. When I see what McDaniel's doing, I can't do that. I can't do that. So next week is big, dude. Big. He loses that game. I'm putting his ass on the spot all next year. And he better, show night and day improvement next year, or I'll be calling for his head. Phil Montgomery. Next year, same old Finns. McD's plan stunk. Fangio's plan was shit. We likely lose to the Bills next week and at KC in the playoffs. Is there any reason for hope moving forward after this embarrassment? Well, they're going to move forward anyways. They're not going to make any changes this offseason. Come on, let's go. Let's be honest here, okay? But next year, like I said, will be a hot seat year for him. And if he does a lot of the same stupid crap that he's done for 2 years, people will say enough's enough. You can't ruin the talent. He has the talent. It's up to him to get more out of it. And he's not. He's failing. Next up. Kopitar, 1132. There isn't a team I hate more than the Dolphins. God. I don't hate them. I love them, but man, they frustrate the crap out of me. But I understand your pain, Kopitar. Hang in there, my friend. Louis M. Can someone please point to the 56 points we gave up last season under Boyer? Oh, wait, there were no more injuries. Oh, Fangio's a fraud. Well, Boyer certainly did a better job than this guy did against the Ravens last year. That's for sure. He shut him down in the second half. Man of 1,005 volts, thank you for the love in the super chat. This team has too many problems, too many drops and penalties. Lamar actually looked like an elite QB and showed up when it matters. Same old Dolphins. He showed up again. Whatever, you know. I saw more. It was on the Dolphins than anything else. Any quarterback would have completed those passes today. Any quarterback. I mean, it was just Miami's defense was. It couldn't have been a bigger joke. I mean, this was one of the most pathetic defensive performances. I feel like I was watching Jay Brophy and Bud Brown and Jerry Wilson and, crap like that playing defense. Mateo, thank you for the love in the super chat. No doubt the Ravens will be in the Super Bowl. I don't know about that. We'll see. I don't buy that offense in the playoffs at all. Cy, love all. And it's good to love all, Cy. Never seen a defense so confused. I mean, God. Could they have been more out of place today? It was pathetic, dude. Seriously. It was like Fangio deserves to be put in a corner with a dunce's hat for the rest of the week. Anyone still out there says Tua over Lamar. Brother, you put Tua on the other side, he completes all. Brother, you put Zach Wilson, and he completes all those passes. They were wide open. There was nothing difficult about anything that went on. The defense played so badly. I mean, they kept running that play with Hill. I mean, because they kept knowing that Riley couldn't stay with him. I mean, it was just like simple crap that it was amazing to me. But thank you anyways, Alex. Next up, we go with just a guy. This loss hurts. The Dolphins look completely unprepared on both sides of the ball. Yep. Can't say anything about that. McDaniel and Fangio did not have this team prepared whatsoever. They got so badly out-coached, it was ridiculous. Next up. Mateo, Wilkins and others do not deserve big contracts. Well, Wilkins for sure. Wilkins is gone. X is gone. Ogba's gone. You're going to open up a lot of money next year. Next up. Thank you, Mateo, again. Huh? Jason Patrick, thank you for the love on the super chat. Thank you, sir. Next up. All right, John. Thank you, sir. I agree 100%. Why rush the play before the half? You don't want to leave them any time anyway. Exactly. You had 2 minutes. It was stupid. It was so unintelligent to hurry that up and rush the play, and then look what you ended up doing, turning it over anyway. And why the F is Tua out there and any other starter when the game's mathematically over? Hope Tua's okay. Yeah, it looked like the left shoulder. The right shoulder, by the way.
He was in the press conference. He said he's okay. It's just sore.
Yeah, it's just sore.
That's what he said. So
yeah, he came out of the 10 and then sat on the bench, and he was fine. It looked like it. Next up after John C. is man of 1,005 holds. McDaniel pulled a Mario and kept Chubb in. Dumb. Yeah, I know. It was so stupid. Absolutely stupid, man of 1,005 holds. Catastrophically stupid. Next up, Jason Patrick. Thank you for the love in the super chat. Congrats, McDaniel. You played yourself. This shit is ridiculous. It's difficult being a Fins fan. Jesus, it is. It is. It's hard. And it is a pretty damn good team, too. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate you, man. Hang in there. Alexander Jackson is a real QB. Orlando, stop the attacks. Whatever, my brother. Appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Next up. When I see something done in the playoffs, then we'll talk. O'Shea Morris. Thank you, my man. Appreciate you. Thank you for the love and the support. as always. Next up, Kevin Beal. My heart hurts for Chubb. Duke Riley got exposed today. Deshaun Elliott also, 1 sack, no interceptions. I'm sorry, but I'm over X. 2 interceptions in 2 years. McDaniel, clown job. Yeah. I don't know, but somebody was way ahead on the X thing. You still arguing with me 2 years ago? You gotta know when to hold them and when to fold them. But I understand why they hung on X, because they had to make this run with Tua in these 2 years. But as I told you 2 years ago, that Byron would be let go last offseason and X will be let go this offseason. So we told you this 2 years ago that X would be let go this offseason. Ronald Katz, yeah, Boca jaw surgery. McDaniel needs to, what is it? Vyvanse dosage? Needs to up the Vyvanse dosage. You're a doctor. I have no idea what that is. You're treating us like we have a medical degree. You're the one with the medical degree, doc. I'm a big dummy. Anyway, coaches like he's playing video games. Why Chubb or any other key defender playing at the end was moronic. Yes, it was. It was absolutely stupid. I'm with you there. Cash App, I'll go back to the Super Chats in a second. Let me go back to Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show, that is Cash Big O Show. On Cash App, Pedro Farias. Big O, embarrassing because shows we are not elite. Yes. Yeah, we didn't play elite. That's for damn sure. You are 1,000% right. Walter Olivares, thank you, sir, for the love on Cash App. Regardless of the outcome, go Fins. Happy New Year. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you immensely. Thank you, sir. Okay, and Venmo, Cash App, or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. Let's see. Armando Swaim on Venmo. Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show, Cash App, or Venmo. Does the NFL drug test coaches? Because I truly believe McDaniel coaches his team somewhat high at times. I don't know. Not sure. But some of his decisions, he's definitely high. Hurrying up that 2-minute warning. Now that 2-minute warning, leaving Chubb in the game. Yeah, that's as high as you can get. Next up is O.J. Ojeda. 2 drop TDs in the end zone. Ouch. All we can hope for is for the Fins to beat Buffalo next week. Let's take this L, mourn on it, and get ready for Week 18. Secure that number 2 spot in the AFC and AFC East champs. Happy New Year, Big O and Sean. Thank you for what you guys do. Thank you, OJ. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Double O. John Geeb, thank you for the love on Venmo. Oh, unfortunately, what's done is done in Baltimore now. Time for Miami to exercise their demons in Buffalo. Otherwise, we continue to ride the hamster wheel of mediocrity. Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. It kind of looks like that, right? Let's hope so, my brother. Let's hope that they can get better. Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. All right, we go back to the Super Chats. What's next, my man? Let's see. All right, Frankie Fresco. Oh, Chubb got hurt on a non-contact play. Maybe it was something that would have happened eventually. As McDaniel, we can't keep firing coaches every 2 or 3 years. That is not the solution. Frankie, listen, I'm not saying to fire him. I'm not saying he's getting fired at all. I did not say that. Listen to me. I said he comes back on the hot seat next year. And whether you like it or not, Frankie, he left Chubb in at a time that he didn't need to be in the game. Just like he didn't have to hurry it up before the 2-minute warning and get that play in. When he had 2 minutes and plenty of time, and he was on their side of the field already. Stupid is stupid, my brother. He can't win a challenge. Stupid is stupid, and I can't do anything about that. So next year, Frankie, if he continues with stupid shit, you got to look at him and say he's not the guy. And you don't. So what do? So when you know the quarterback's not any good, you keep him around for 7 years? Did you like when they extended Joe Philbin after they won the game against Minnesota? Does that make sense too? Did it make sense to keep Wanstead around and let that defense get old? Oh, but you won 10 games. Yeah, but did you watch the game? Dave Wanstead won't take any chances. We'll bring him back anyway. How long have you been a Dolphins fan? Have you not seen when they keep people around too long? That doesn't help either, my man. Got to fire him. I'm not saying to fire him. I'm just saying that next year, if he continues to do what he has done, you have to look at it and say, this guy doesn't get any better. Can you say he's a better X's and O's coach than he was last year? I can't. He does the same stupid shit over and over and over again. So, the solution is getting the right coach. Next up, O'Shea Morris, Tua play not good enough in big games. Wasn't it big last year in Baltimore? Wasn't it big last year, the year before wasn't big because there was no big games, but he did win the Baltimore game, right? And by the way, in Kansas City, O'Shea, did he not put the pass there for Tyreek, who dropped it? See what I'm saying? And then Tyreek fumbles and loses that game. Tua didn't lose the Kansas City game. So, you know what I'm saying? Let's be fair. Tua played like shit today. He gets no breaks from me. I'm not arguing with you, but don't make it sound like he doesn't show up at all the big games. When he does show up, other people have to show up too. He did throw 2 touchdowns today, O'Shea. 2 more touchdowns. Right? Didn't he? Did he not put it in Tyreek's hands and in Claypool's hands? Could be a different game if you start catching the ball, actually. Let's be fair. Okay? Next up. Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. Jamal Williams. I will never understand why Mike never makes in-game adjustments. Once again, he'll drops a catchable ball in a big game. The defense changed the momentum. Yep. That definitely changed the momentum, yes. And the defense did change the momentum because they did nothing all game long. So they kind of changed the momentum too. Next up, Vishal Saxena. Should I throw my Dolphins yard flag in the trash today or next Sunday? Never. You never throw. Wait a minute. Is it the new logo? Throw it away anyways. Get an old logo and put it back out there on the yard. Okay, I just want to know, Vishal, if you got a new logo on there, well, you got the wrong logo out there. Maybe that's why we're losing, Vishal. It's Vishal's fault. He's got a new logo out on his lawn. By the way, I got to put away the Bitcoin hat now. I got to find another lucky hat. Leon Fresco, my son Daniel wishes you a happy new year. I am sad I made him a Finns fan, but he loves the Big O. Thank you, Leon. Thank you very much. And thank you, Daniel. Appreciate you. Hang in there. It'll get better one day. It will, man. I'm never leaving my Dolphins. Never. Love my Dolphins. All right. Next up, time served. Ever since the playoffs collapsed in San Diego and Jacksonville in the 90s, this team has done nothing but let me down and get me ridiculed. It never ends. Keep it up, Big O. You tell it as it should be. Yeah, we all are getting burned with that one. And Vishal sent in a super chat right now. He goes, yes, it was the new logo. Laughing my ass. Told you, Vishal. Throw that shit away, bro. Get an old logo and put it back out there, and I bet you we'll start winning. Well, if you get an old logo out on the lawn this week, we beat Buffalo. In fact, next week, I want a picture of that flag, the old logo on your lawn, so we can win against Buffalo. Vishal, the entire Dolphins nation is waiting for you. And tweet it out to us at Big O Show that you have gotten a old logo, a real logo on the lawn.
It's all on you, Vishal. All on you, buddy.
All on you. The pressure's on you. Brad Means, after 1 year, you see signs. After 2 years, you see patterns. We saw it with Flores in some ways. Now we're seeing with Mike. The cloud looms. Brad, dude, that is just outstanding on your part and 100% accurate. And that's my problem. And that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a dude that's making the same mistakes over and over again. And so we can't keep waiting for you to correct them. So next year, you better win this week. If you don't win, then all hell will break loose on you next year. If you win, then you'll be fine. But if you lose next week, I'm predicting it before it happens because I've been here for a long time. I've seen this game over and over again. McDaniel has to turn the corner, or you think he can't, and then you got to move on. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Joe Philbin wasn't going to get better. Ryan Tannehill wasn't going to get better. Dave Wannstedt wasn't going to get better. Al Golden wasn't going to get better. Randy Shannon wasn't going to get better. When they're bad, and you need to move on. When they can't get it done and they can't figure it out. True Fin fan, I will wait till after the season to assess. Exactly. But that's what I'm telling you. You lose to Buffalo, I'm telling you, I know what's going to happen. True Fin fan, I know what's happening. The heat will come down and it will rain on you, Warriors. It will rain on him. Okay? Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. And on the Venmo, Robert Bobo. Thank you for the love on Venmo. Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. These Vic Fangio collapses are killing us. 48 points against Buffalo. The last 3 minutes against Tennessee, 56 points against Baltimore. He better clean this shit up now, or Josh Allen is coming to beat our asses again. He's right about that. Chris Fazzani, thank you for the Venmo. Baltimore's receivers were wide open from the start to the end. What the F? I've never seen it before. I swear to God. I think Bud Brown and Paul Langford covered better than these guys. Christian DiMartino, I've never seen a team so many times unprepared for the moment. Am I really watching this? Happy, healthy New Year. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you immensely. And yeah, you are watching it. And it was sad, dude. Absolutely sad and pathetic to watch. So can't disagree with that, my friend. Let's go to the Super Chats now, my man. Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. We'll go back to the Cash Apps or the Venmos as they come in. Next up, it is Roberto Sendejas. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Thank you for the love in the Super Chat. Next up. Who we got next? Mateo. Miami needs an exceptional draft next year. Yes. Well, they need an exceptional draft every year. But they need to find a playmaking tight end. They're going to need to get another lineman, D and O lineman. You got to do what Philly does every year. Draft linemen. Can't draft enough linemen and enough defensive backs. And a tight end this year. They're going to find a playmaking tight end. Thank you, Mateo. Next up. Vinny Lenya. All right. I think this L is on Fangio as much more than anyone. I don't understand the ability to adjust for a defensive coordinator of his pedigree. Brother, Vinny, you are 1,000% right. I would blame him more than any other coach, but I'm really disappointed in McDaniel. But his defense was so unprepared and out of place completely. Sad, dude. It was bad. And it's like the last listener said, the Buffalo one, the collapse against Tennessee, and this is pretty disgusting. Just a guy. How can you keep Tua and fire McD? They're a package deal now. McD completely restored Tua's confidence. Tua was fine in Alabama. Tua's not the problem. Okay? So for me, Tua is the best quarterback we've had since Marino. I'm not getting rid of Tua. McDaniel needs to grow up, and he needs to figure shit out. Stephen Rowell, thank you for the love on the super chat. 11-5 with a chance for the division. I'll take that over the year after the year of 6 to 8 wins under Sperano, Philbin, and Gase. Amen. But we need the guy to be a difference maker. The year that they fired Flo, one of the things that I kept reminding people that everybody overlooked, everybody in the media, most of the fans, everybody overlooked this. Okay? People were talking about the win streak. How can you fire the guy when he didn't lose his team and they came back and started winning games? And what you didn't understand is that the front office said to themselves, well, why did you lose the first 7 games? Or 6. What was it, a 6 or 7 games? Whatever it was. 1 and 7, so 6. So why'd you lose when we gave you the talent? And then you figured it out and you started winning, and that's why you got fired. Well, they're giving this guy even more talent. So they expect more out of this guy. And so now if you're screwing up in these moments, the guys above are going to go, hey, man, yo, why is Chubb playing at the end of this game? You know how much we got to pay this guy? Do you have any idea, Mike? Why is he playing at the end of the game? Why can't you win a challenge? You got to sit there and have these kind of conversations with him. So what happened here? Why did you hurry up with 2 minutes left? Hey, last week, why didn't you just take those 3 points? All this shit is going to be brought up with him. And then he's got to answer it. And then they're going to have a meeting, and Greer's going to look at McKenzie, and McKenzie's going to look at Allen. Allen's looking at McKenzie. Allen's looking at Greer. Like, what do we do here? This guy, he doesn't get it. That's just the way it goes. That's why I'm telling you, next week it is important for McDaniel. Because if he wants to come back next year as the golden child and not the guy on the hot seat, you better end strong. Matthew Marquez, tired of the self-righteous Fins fans telling the rest of us we aren't real fans. If we shit on this team for underperformed, failed in every aspect of the game today, it was the worst performance I've seen earn the 7 seed. Yeah. Listen, real fans care. And when you hear them complain, they care. Nobody cares about the Marlins. Whether they win or they lose, nobody cares that they even exist. Apathy is the worst thing in the world. The greatest thing in the world is that when you lose, everybody's pissed because that means they care. The soft fan that you have that fan that everything's always got to be positive and pom-poms and all that, and everything will be all right. That's a fake fan, because that fan is lying to themselves. They're not even willing to say, yeah, no, John Beck sucks. Oh, no, John Beck will figure it out. Ryan Tannehill will be the guy. That's the, you know that Finn fan. Can't ever lie to them. They got to lie to themselves all the time. Come on, bro. The real fan is the one that loves and the one that is in pain, because they care both ways passionately. because it hurts them to lose. The fan that says, oh, it'll be all right, no big deal. I don't think you're feeling it like I am. I'm sorry. Everything is not rosy. Sorry. No. Joe Philbin will be better next year. No, he won't. We're signing Mike Tannenbaum. Maybe Mike Tannenbaum has figured it out. No, he hasn't. Don't be that fan, please. Don't be that fan. Don't be that human being that wants to lie to themselves about anything and everything in life. Kopitar, 11:32. Howard most likely played his last game as a Dolphins. Wilkins proves he's not a $22 million player. Agba is a softie with the tweets before the game. I'm beyond words. Thank you, Kopitar, but you at least gave us some love on Super Chat. Wow, you brought in another one. Oh, wait, you actually repeated it. Okay. It was two of them. Thank you, Kopitar. Appreciate it. I don't know if it was a mistake, but thank you very much. Art of the Sport. Oh, I know what the issue is. Team needs another football speech from Campanile. Today was a joke. Secondary got exposed. Yeah, those Campanile speeches, they're not working. Let's see. AD dances. Paul in Connecticut saying, shake my head. Shaking my head. Sorry, Paul. Hang in there, my brother. I know you, Paul. I've known your ass for years now. You've been following me from the QAM days and all that. I know your ass is in my kind of pain. I know you're feeling it. You're not that fan like, everything will be all right. We're all going to be great. Yeah, I know. I know you're feeling it. John Geeb. Maybe Coach Spo would like to be the first multi-sports head coach. Laughing my effing ass out loud. I'm only playing. I know, John. But, before Spo, we used to say that for the Dolphins with Riley. Hey, can Riley coach the Dolphins? We used to say the same thing anyways. Now it's Spo because, Spo is great. Jensen Zelaya, thank you for the love on the Super Chat, my friend. What are our chances of beating the Bills next week? God, I'm going to go 30%. Only because of McDaniel. If we had a better game day coach, then I'd feel better about it. But McDaniel does not give me a lot of hope. And quite frankly, I also have to say, Fangio failed against the Bills the first go-around. Frankie Fresco, Tua said things could be worse. Come on, man. That is not the mentality. We got our asses handed to us. Tua and his team is soft. Show some anger. That's not Tua. Tua's not going to do that. In public, he's not going to do that. He will not do that. He will not point fingers at anybody except himself. And he will not, paint some negative. That's not who he is. There's a lot of players that are like that. Like Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas won't do that. I used to love that about Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas. Zach will stand there and go, we suck today. Seriously. I have audio of Zach like, we suck today. I have audio of Jason Taylor like, we didn't deserve to win. We played terrible today. I failed this team. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. Because JT would always lie on the sword all the freaking time. And you're sitting there going, JT, you're full of shit, bro. Okay, you played your ass off, bro. You were awesome today. It's the rest of the team that kind of screwed up. The other guys well, you go ahead, bro. You go ahead. You go ahead. It was kind of like one of those deals. Because JT rarely was the reason why you ever lost. I'm sure he made a mistake or two or whatever. But he was the guy that was like, we sucked. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. And you love the honesty, man. I love the brutal honesty. But some players will do that and some won't. Marino wasn't going to rip into his team publicly either. You know what I mean? That's just not something that he ever did. He'll do it on the field, in a locker room away from us or whatever, but like in public, he never really called people out or anything. That wasn't his thing either. Vinny Lenya, McDaniel should consider passing off play calling duties, focus on managing the game. Like challenges? Seriously, who's the guy above? Who's he listening to? Like, I want to know how screwed up is the whole situation with reviews.
It's Fangio.
Oh, okay. He's doing it without glasses?
It's the only answer, right? It's got to be Fangio without his glasses.
Gotta be, bro. Antonio Ingram, only bright side was Achan and Sealer. Hey, wait a minute. Hold on. Jason Sanders hit his kicks again. So I'm going to go Jason Sanders, too, because he's on a roll. Now, you're right. There wasn't a lot to – there wasn't – yeah, no, seriously. It's a good point, Antonio. There wasn't really a lot of bright spots. That's a very good point now when you think about it, because so many people played so poorly. And really, it's just Sealer and – huh? Oh, yeah.
Julian Hill had a couple of good
Julian Hill.
plays there.
Yeah, dude.
But again, I think he's referring to more of
and they don't
game
use
changers, and
they still don't use Julian Hill more. I don't get it, and I still didn't see my boy Chris Brooks. Yeah, but I mean, you know what I mean. Like, how many carries did he get? Right. It's just You didn't get too much. You didn't get too much action. That's the problem, bro. You got to get him in the groove, man. Those interceptions by Tua were McDaniel's fault? No. They were terrible decisions. But I do blame McDaniel for the one at the end of the first half, because you hurried everything up, and there was no reason to hurry the whole play up, and there was no rhythm to it, and it was a forced throw, and that's it. Done. It was a bad decision by McDaniel. He put his quarterback and his team in an uncomfortable position. Beating the Bills for the division and winning no playoff games is the same as winning a playoff game without beating the Bills. Well, wait a minute. Hold on a second. If you win a playoff game, that's pretty good. If you lose to the Bills, I have a hard time believing you're winning a playoff game. That's my problem with that. See, you know what I'm saying? So I think if you lose to the Bills, I don't even think you're winning in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I kind of look at this. But you've got to end strong in this game. The Monday Night Football Titans loss comes back to haunt us. You know what? I don't care about that one, bro. I care more about this loss and the Buffalo loss, stuff like that, the Kansas City loss. I care more about those losses, because it's really what shows you what you are. And that's my problem, overall. Hell, even the Dallas game, you gave up the lead. You had a multi-score lead, and you gave up the lead, and then you had to come back to win that game, which is great that you came back, but it's also not a good sign that you gave up a double-digit lead, and you then had to come back to win that game. And you were in a position where you didn't go for a field goal earlier, which would have given you a cushion at the end. And you didn't have that cushion either. It's really hard to feel great about this team at this moment. Let me rephrase this. It's really hard to feel good about this coaching staff guiding this team in the right areas. You just the head coach just cost you Chubb for next week. And whatever next season, too. And the playoffs, by the way. Because you are going to the playoffs. Chubb will not be there. I mean, that shit is unacceptable, man. So my bigger problem than anything else is that we don't have the proper coaches right now in place to make this team great. See, I know that Eric Spoelstra can make everybody better. So I'm done with coaching there at the Miami Heat. I don't need to worry about. I know if there's something wrong, it must be something with one of the players. It's not Eric Spoelstra. It's not Jim Larinaga. It's not the way I look at it. So they already proved to me what they are, just like Don Shula proved to me who he was. You know what I'm saying? Once the coach proves that he's a great coach and his stuff works, well, then I need to see everything else around you then, work out. But at the moment right now, I can't say that about our coaches. I can't say that we have the right Dolphin coaching staff until you start winning these kind of games and you have the talent to do it. Broaches podcast. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you with the love on this super chat. And a plug for you, I guess. Melvin goes full-time next week, probably. Non-contact injury. He still didn't have to be in there. It doesn't matter. There was no reason for him to be in that game. There's no reason for any of your stars to be at the end of that game. You should have had all backups in there. And especially your best pass rusher. No reason. There was nothing to do there. The game was more than over. It was dumb. Let's see. Big O, please stop with those old throwback names on defense. It's giving me bad flashbacks to the worst unibrow God ever created, Tom Olivadotti. Oh, man. Tua is good at short passes, but he gets sacked too much. Oh, so he sucks at long passes. So he has, probably the best completion percentage for deep balls in the NFL. I see. I'm not sure. So you're watching. What game are you watching? Okay. And it must be that when he gets sacked, it must be that, it's not that nobody was open and somebody got through finally. It must be his fault. I love it. Tyreek, the real MVP, huh? Y'all could stop the BS because if Miami wins, it's strictly because Tua's making the right plays. Yeah. Dizzy says this team is fake. Well, they're not fake, but they were frauds today. That's for sure. It was another one of those fraudulent performances like Buffalo earlier this year. Big O, this Dolphins team is Jekyll and Hyde. When they are at home and away, it all comes down from McDaniel. Yeah, I don't know. Would you believe adding Zach Ertz or adding any more plays for Chase Claypool would solve a big component of the offense? Well, I mean, dude, Claypool's just got to catch that. Oh, by the way, let me ask you something about Chase Claypool on that one. You're bigger than everybody else. You see the balls coming your way. Why don't you try to kind of position yourself to actually try to high point the ball and try to catch it with your hands? Why is a big guy like you waiting to basket catch a ball? It's like the fundamentals aren't there for the player either. You know what I mean? You're basket catching a ball. That's why you dropped it, dude. Use hands. Use the hands. As Robert Ford, wide receiver coach for the Miami Dolphins, and taught Oronde Gadsden and many other receivers, he had a saying because he wanted all his receivers to catch with their hands. See the point, grab the fat. And that's what Chase Claypool has to do. It's not like Tua throws like this ugly football. He throws a beautiful football, easy to catch. And what the hell are you doing basket catching between two people? Get yourself in position, jump up in the air, try to high point the ball, and catch it with your hands. The dude's like 6'4". He's probably got, fingers like Oronde Gadsden. You ever shook hands with Oronde Gadsden? That's like shaking hands with a a banana bundle. Okay? You ever shook hands with a Ronde? Like your hand disappears. His fingers are like over by your elbow when he's shaking. You're like, what the hell is this? No wonder you caught everything. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure he's got like these big old gloves for hands. Get your up. Let's go. Use the fingers. Use the hands. Big O, are you worried we lose our Heat Sun advantage with a night game flexed against the Bills? Brother, I don't care about that. I'm not worried about that. That's not the reason why they're going to win. Do you think that McDaniel's going to be any better with challenges at night or in the day? I mean, think about that. What's keeping Chubb at the end of a game when it's meaningless, night or day? That's still stupid, night or day. You know what I'm saying? No, they lose because they drop passes, commit penalties, make stupid decisions, can't play defense. That's night or day. It won't matter. Doesn't matter what time of day you play. The Heat thing comes into play when you're a dominant force. Okay, like the Dolphins used to be when I was young. Then, hey, that's another weapon in our arsenal. But if you're missing all the other weapons, the weapon of heat is not going to help you at all. You got to outplay the team, and that's something that they're not doing. Tiger Shark Tony, thank you for the love in the super chat. You always speak the truth, Big O. I'm angry about this, but I'm still a believer, not a blind ass fan, but my eyes are squinty. We have a shot at the division next week. Let's go, Dolphins. Fins up. Let's hope so, man. Let's hope so. What happened to Robbie Chosen? You counted on him. That's your real problem. You can't count on people like Robbie Chosen or Eli Apple. Okay? You count on people like that, and you're going to end up where they've ended up, out on the street. Because they're not people you count on. Sorry. And that's something that, injuries, obviously, you're stuck with Eli Apple, and my God, he is terrible. And then you look at, some of these other guys, and just got to make the right decisions. Robbie Chosen is not a guy you count on, bro. It's just not a guy that here is going to be there 100%. Big O, I just figured it out. McDaniel's issue is also his best attribute. He's always emotional. This helps relating to players, but hurts when he had to remain objective. That's it. Let's go. Green Lion, he was here. Let's just get a playoff win, LOL. God, I hope so. It would be really nice. Can McD hang some lobster traps in the locker room next week? Classic Wanstead. Big O, agree 100% about Claypool. I said the same exact thing with the Julian Hill play. Dolphins have not lost 2 straight all season. They will win next week. They better, Joe. They better, because if they don't, it really just puts a damper on how you ended 2-3, and then going into the playoffs with no momentum again. It's just bad. Big O, the same applies to Tua's Wilkins. Neither are difference makers against great teams, so no extension for Tua. Okay, sure, Jayhawk. So it's all his fault that they lost to Baltimore this year, and then he gets no credit for winning against Baltimore last year, and Tua gets no credit for winning against Baltimore the year before that. Oh, and Jayhawk, did Tua lose the Kansas City game, or did he make the throw to win the game? I must have missed that. Must have missed it. I love the selective memory of some. Smythe looked pretty good today. Catches in traffic. Still think we can use it. Oh, he's a number 2 at best, dude. They need a number 1. They will get a number 1. Okay? McDaniel needs a Jim Caldwell-type mentor advisor. That would be kind of interesting. I don't know at this point if you're going to be able to do that. You had to do that right from the get-go, put the training wheels on and then take them off. Now, if you do it, it's kind of a negative. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he's going to have I don't know if there'll be an intervention from the front office. That's what needs to happen. All right, we haven't heard from these guys, huh? Nothing yet? Let's see.
Mike McDaniel said that
What do we have?
the players wanted to continue to play and close out the game on a good note, which is why the players stayed in. He said if he had a time machine, he would go back and do it again differently.
Okay. All right, that medicine that Kat sent in is ADHD medicine. That's what it is. Okay, I wouldn't know that, but yeah, that McDaniel might need some of that. Anything else of note?
No, not really. I mean, everything is they fear Chubb towards ACL, which we know. Not a lot coming out of it. I mean, they asked him about was he upset about them throwing up 49-19. He's like, it's their job to call the play. It's our job to stop it. Same thing Christian Wilkins said. Christian Wilkins did take accountability for the way the defense played.
Okay.
When he was in there, and Tua was Tua. The answers were just you heard from what Frankie wrote. I mean, it's just Tua being Tua. I didn't play well enough. We didn't win.
Yeah, he's going to be the same dude. Yeah, that's never going to change with him. That's who he is. Jeffrey Anthony, the man with 2 first names. Thank you for the love on Venmo. Big O, Happy New Year. Are you out on McDaniels at this point? No, not at all. No, I got to see how he does next year. I'm not giving up on McDaniel. I'm just telling you what's going to happen. He loses next week against Buffalo. I don't really have a lot of hope for you winning in the playoffs if you lose against Buffalo. That means you're going to end 2-4 if you lose the playoff game in your last 6. He will come back next year, and fans and media will put him on the hot seat. I guarantee you that's going to happen. Guaranteed, folks. Money in the bank. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Yes. Send Furones a link. And send Cam a link. All right, we will get David Furones on now. And okay, here we go. There we go. All right, we're going to get David Furones on now. Give us 1 minute. David Furones joins us live from the locker rooms after a 56-19 defeat.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house.
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV.
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them.
With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation.
Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house.
Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Radio Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated. They offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayom is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help. The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. You're locked into the only platform truly dedicated to South Florida sports. This is the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins postgame show on the Sports Talk 305 network. Here's your host, Orlando Alzugari.
All right. Thank you. We are about to get David Feronis, Brian Diaz. Thank you for the love on the super chat, my man. Remember, Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. McDaniel's a young coach, definitely improved as far as pre-snap flags. Need to clean up challenges and when to throttle back. Hard Knocks, Jinx, Phillip Baker, Chubb, Javon, Waddle, Mostert. Now they've had injuries before. It's just the way it is. They got injuries now. Baltimore's got injuries too. The Chubb one, you picked up an injury because your coach was stupid and kept him out there. Okay? There was no reason for Chubb to be playing at that part of the game. No reason for most of the veterans to not be playing. X is always injured, bro. So X doesn't count, and stuff happens. So it is what it is. I'm not here to lean on the injuries, man. I'm sorry. I mean, everybody has injuries. Marlon Humphrey, didn't he get injured in the game for them? They missed their safety. Their best player in their secondary was out for at the beginning of the game, missing one of their offensive linemen. I don't want to hear this shit, dude. I don't want to hear any excuses. I'm tired of excuses. Make plays. And that's it. Make plays. And that's everybody. Okay? I understand that people, like some of you out there, you want to focus on one person, but too many people screwed up in that game, dude. Way too many people. You know, and that's you're never going to win like that. I mean, watching this team, they came apart exactly the way San Francisco came apart last week. And if you're going to make mistakes, then you're done, dude. You know, you're absolutely done. And no, Tua will be playing next week. He's fine. He should be all right. It's a sore shoulder, he says, and it's not his throwing shoulder.
Mike McDaniel on Raheem Mostert.
Yes.
Says he was surprised based on past experiences, unexpected. This time he didn't progress as much as he had in the past. Mostert wanted to go, but best decision for Dolphins.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I'm supposed to believe that now. Yeah, that's a load of shit. John Gabe, thank you for the love in the super chat. Obviously, Tua and Tyreek is dangerously explosive. People have no clue how Tua would feast with a seam threat tight end. They do need that, and they will add that this offseason. They will need it because McDaniel's going to need it because he's going to need it for the next year that he's going to be on a hot seat, and he's going to have to do a lot better than what he's done so far. So,
in time, I wasn't referring that Mostert would have helped us today. I was referring to that all week we heard he was going to go, and then today we found out he wasn't going.
Right.
So I don't know if that's where you thought I was trying to bring that in.
Okay. I'm with you. All right. We're going to wrap it up here, dude. It is time to wrap it up and call it a night. Appreciate all of you that showed up here at Walk-Ons. We'll be in studio next week for the Bills game. Thank the Lord, at least we'll be in studio for that. That'll be good, at least. And they won't flex it. That game will not get flexed now. No, it's not. No, it's not. Don't say that. No.
Before the thing I told you, if they won, it wouldn't. But it does because now it's even more.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. It's for the AFC East division title.
All right.
And the funny part about it is, if the Dolphins win, it's probably a matchup of what you'll see in the playoffs the first round.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Because they would end up being the second seed, and the Bills would be, I believe, the
6th seed.
6 or 7.
No, there would have to be the 5th seed, right? Because
they would end up right now. They're
the 6th seed because the 7 plays the 2.
Damn.
Yeah. Oh, so he's there. All right, let's go to David Furones. He got here in time. I was going to check out. I was just about to close out the show. He's just back. All right, let's go. Put him on. Here we go. David Furones with our Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins postgame report.
All rise, football fans, as the Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
Hi, my brother.
All right.
You witnessed it. That was one absolutely badass choke job by the Miami Dolphins. I mean, I have never seen a defense so less prepared outside of 62-7 against the Jags. This was a pathetic performance by the defense.
Yeah, I mean, Lamar Jackson just had his way with them. As I have, hold on, I have a lawnmower. Some kind of gardening tool following me for sound. Breakdowns in the secondary. Eli Apple had to go in for Xavier Howard. That big play to Zay Flowers, that was just atrocious there. Deshaun Elliott couldn't get over in time, but really Eli Apple seemed to be at fault for that one. Just letting Lamar Jackson pick you apart. And then obviously, I mean, it happens on both ends of the football as well. So offensively, not being able to keep up, and it hurts when you have 2,000 total yards of offense not playing. Jalen Waddle and Raheem Mostert. Tyreek Hill said he didn't have. He had one of his worst games of his career.
He was terrible.
yeah, all that combined is the result that you get against a really good team.
Yeah, the amazing part is that the Miami Dolphins have two of the best receivers in the NFL, but both of them will make boneheaded mistakes in every single game. Every single game, there'll be a boneheaded mistake by Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle, and those guys need to fix it. Mike McDaniel, dude, I couldn't be disappointed with him on Sunday. First of all, what'd you think about what happened with the interception with 2 minutes left when I thought clearly you didn't have to rush that play and you could have waited for the 2 minutes? You had more than enough time to get down to score. Why rush it? And you rushed yourself right into an interception. I didn't understand that. I thought that was terrible coaching.
Yeah, that's not what you want right before in that scenario. And then that's really how we saw this game start to get away. It was right around that second quarter.
Low. Very low. Very low.
No, are you not hearing me?
Yeah, it sounds like hey. Yeah. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
No?
No, not good. Not good. Not good.
Ah.
All right, David, we're gonna let you go, bro. I appreciate it. Off. It's hard to hear you, bro. Hard to hear you, and there's noise back there. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. We're gonna wrap it up here, man. We thank David Furones. We thank, of course, Sean Stanley. Thank Yanira, Joe, all the great people out here at Walk-Ons. We thank everybody out there, all of you that tuned in. Those of you that sent in a super chat, Cash App, or Venmo, I appreciate it immensely. All I can tell you is hang in there. Things don't look good. They are injury riddled at this point in time, and it doesn't look like you have a coach that can overachieve or can overcome adversity. He is more of a front-running coach, unfortunately. And this team at this point in time, I don't think has the proper leadership it needs in order to get it over the top. Mike McDaniel has a lot of growing up to do. He is not ready for the big time. He constantly proves that. He's going to have to grow up a little bit more. Maybe the jokes need to be dialed back a little bit. Maybe Mr. Friendly needs to be dialed up back a little bit. Maybe you need to focus a little bit more on what you need to do because your team is ill prepared for big moments. And I'm going to lay it mostly on the coaching staff because there's a reason why your players are unprepared, out of position, making mistakes, penalties, throwing interceptions, dropping constantly touchdowns and passes. There's a reason why it's constantly happening. Okay, this team has a lot of talent. A little less now after all the injuries, but it's had a lot of talent. That's why it can win. But it needs somebody that is going to mold, the sculpture, that is going to polish the coal into a diamond. And right now, they don't have the Eric Spoelstra and his staff making people better. And then the person that comes off the bench is fundamentally sound. That does not happen with a Mike McDaniel team. And that is a problem, my friends. And that is something that now will become a bigger and bigger problem because it continues to show its ugly head on a consistent basis. Okay? And this is all on Mike McDaniel from here on out. The pressure is ratcheted up. And if he doesn't win next week, it's only going to get worse for him. And it's going to be a bad off season for Mike McDaniel. Because no matter how they improve, whatever trade they make, whoever they sign, everyone is still going to say, do we have the right coach? Because in the end, Mike McDaniel has proven he's not the right coach yet. He has a lot of great elements to him. but he doesn't have all the ingredients he needs to be a great head coach. Right now, he is still a play caller, figuring out how he is supposed to make the decisions that are the right decisions for everyone on the football team. He doesn't know how to make the right decisions for everyone on the football team. He's got a lot to learn, folks. We'll be off tomorrow. We'll be back on Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. I appreciate all of you out there as always. We'll see you on Tuesday. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Barbara. Appreciate it. The love of my life, of course, helping me out here as always. And I appreciate my wife. And thanks, of course, to all of you that showed up here and always came out to support us here at Walk-Ons, throughout the year. It means the world that you guys give us support. So thank you all out there. We'll see you on Tuesday. Have a blessed and happy new year.
This is the Big O Show.
This has been the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins postgame show on the Sports Talk 305 network. The show is mastered by Sean Stanley and Chad Show. From home to kitchen to bathroom additions and remodelings. Get in contact with one of the best contractors in the business. Call Eric at EJDconstruction.com. 305-433-4843. Please subscribe to our platform by searching Big O Radio Show on all digital avenues. On behalf of all our staff, we thank you for supporting us. Have a fantastic week.